Hello students, in this lecture we will study the theory of the polar dielectrics and we will find the expression for polarizability of the polar dielectric, and that expression is called as Langevin-Debye formula. Now students should note that in this derivation for polarizability of polar molecule, many of the equations we use are directly given here without any derivation. In fact, this theory of the polar molecules, that Langevin's Debye formula, is highly mathematical and it is beyond the scope of your syllabus. So in fact, it is part of the research paper. So most of the things which are given here are the results from that theory. At first, let us recall what are the polar molecules. Now, we have a polar dielectric. Polar dielectric is made of polar molecules. In the polar molecules, center of positive charge and center of negative charge do not coincide. That means they are separated by a certain distance. Since the two charges, equal and opposite, are separated by some distance, each molecule possesses electric dipole moment, which is the one of the charge into distance between the two equal and opposite charges. So these molecules which have molecular dipole, even in the absence of electric field, they are called as the polar molecules. And dielectrics which are made up of these polar molecules are called as polar dielectric. In absence of electric field, all the dipoles of the polar dielectric are in the random direction. They are randomly directed. That means, although they have the same magnitude, for every molecule having the dipole moment in one direction, there is always another molecule having the dipole in the opposite direction. And since given material contains large number of molecules, therefore the resultant dipole moment of all the molecules is 0. Note that the dipole moment is a vector quantity. So the material, that means given polar dielectric material, is not polarized. The formula for the polarization, that is vector P, is a total dipole moments of each and every molecule divided by volume in which those molecules are present. Now when the dielectric material is not in the electric field, now this dipole moment being a vector quantity, so the total, that means resultant of the dipole moment of all the molecules becomes 0. So this numerator is 0. Therefore, this polarization is equal to 0. Now if that means in absence of the electric field, there is no polarization, there is polarization is equal to 0. If this polar dielectric is kept in the external electric field, then that individual electric dipole of the molecule, they experience the torque and they will try to rotate in the direction of external electric field. So more the electric field, more is the rotation of those electric dipole moment. So it's this resultant dipole moment will increase, and for a particular value of the external electric field, all the dipole moment of all the molecules are aligned in the direction of external electric field. So now it is completely polarized. So there is a saturation value here. Then in this case, since each and every the molecule have the same magnitude of the dipole moment, and now they are also the same direction, and if capital N is the number of molecules per unit volume, So here the number of total number of molecules into dipole moment of one molecule divided by volume. So total number of molecules divided by volume is a number of molecules per unit volume into the dipole moment of the one of the molecule. Now that quantity is a polarization. So we write here from this definition of the polarization. As I mentioned in the previous slide that if the external electric field is more, then polarization is more. But again, you cannot go on increasing the polarization by increasing the external electric field. Now at a certain value of the external electric field, all molecules dipole will be polar in the direction of that electric field, and if the electric field is increased further, there will not be more polarization. So again it has a saturation value. But the polarization not only depends upon electric field, but it also depends upon the temperature of that dielectric material. The higher the temperature, that randomization is more. That means the direction will become random. So it will try to disalign with the external direction of the electric field. So the polarization depends upon electric field is also temperature. If the electric field is more, polarization more, but there is some saturation value. But if temperature is more, then what will happen is the electric dipole moment will get disoriented and the polarization will decrease. So if the electric field is sufficiently high and temperature is sufficiently low, then complete polarization will occur. According to the statistical mechanics, at temperature capital T, probability of having the molecule of particular energy E is proportional to e raised to minus E by kT. That means here, see, for a larger energy, one which is having the larger energy and smaller temperature, then that molecule is less likely to, more likely to find. Now K is a Boltzmann constant. So K here is Boltzmann's constant. But this molecule is moving, so it has a kinetic energy Ek, and it is in the electric field. External electric field is also electric field produced by all other molecules. So it has a potential energy U. So total energy is kinetic energy plus potential energy. Now as I mentioned earlier, that probability of having the molecule of particular energy E is proportional to e raised to minus E by kT. Now E here is Ek plus U. So minus Ek plus U by kT. And if you use the laws of indices, what we get is e raised to minus Ek by kT into e raised to minus U by kT. But the kinetic energy does not depend upon the electric field. So when the electric field is increased, the only rotation will increase. But what happens is that molecular kinetic energy means moving along the straight line, that will not change. So, and one can neglect this kinetic energy completely. So neglect means that Ek is 0, very small, 0. So e raised to 0 is 1. So we can neglect this. So what is there is only the potential, because of the potential energy, e raised to minus U by kT, U is the potential energy. Then also the potential energy of the permanent dipole moment, vector P naught in the electric field Em is, now this we have derived in the very first chapter, that potential energy minus vector P naught dot minus Em, that is minus dot product A dot B is AB cos theta, so P naught Em cos theta. In the previous slide, we had shown this equation U equal to minus vector P naught dot vector Em, and this is dot product minus P naught Em cos theta. And in fact, this is borrowed from the first chapter, electrostatics. Then in the previous slide, we also seen that probability of finding the molecule of a given energy E is proportional to e raised to minus E by kT. K is a Boltzmann constant, capital T is the temperature, absolute temperature, and total energy is the kinetic energy plus potential energy. But the kinetic energy does not depend upon the electric field, but potential energy depends upon the external electric field. So this we are neglecting. So Ek is 0, and you get minus e raised to minus u by kt. Then this u equal to minus p naught em cos theta. So minus minus become plus p naught em cos theta by kt. Now we find the average value of the dipole moment of the molecules. The average we write with this type of bracket. This type of bracket we write as the average in physics. In mathematics, average we write with a bar on the top. In statistics, if you write a bar on the top, then it is the average quantity. So here, if you write this type of bracket, triangular bracket, then it is the average value. So remember that this is a symbol for the average value. And average of P naught cos theta, because theta is a variable. And using the mathematics, average means sum of each and every value divided by total, how many times you added. You get it like this. Integral of P naught cos theta e raised to P naught em cos theta by kt d omega. D omega is an element of the solid angle, because in the within certain angle, solid angle forming the cone, in that we are trying to calculate the dipole moment, and this is the total times you have added. And this comes from the in fact statistics. So we will not go into detail of that. Just you should know the formula. So we have stated this equation. We have not proved it, but we have stated this equation for average value of P naught cos theta. Then we define another quantity called as a y. Y is P naught em by kt. So here it comes. P naught em by kt, that is y. And when you substitute that y here, the integral of P naught y e raised to y cos theta by kt, and integral of e raised to y cos theta by cos theta. So here integral of y cos theta e raised to y cos theta, and divided by integral of e raised to y cos theta. And when you evaluate this integral, now in fact integration of this is a lengthy process. So we directly state the formula value here. It is P naught in bracket. Now it is a cot y minus 1 by y. Now this cot is not a trigonometric function. In what you are studying in trigonometry is that sine, cosine, tan, cot. But this is a cot, C-O-T-H. Now these are called as a hyperbolic function. It is just they are different from the trigonometric function. Again, we will not go into detail of that. I'll just tell you that there are something called as a hyperbolic function, and just like a sine, cosine, tan, etc., they are the trigonometric function. You have a hyperbolic function that's sine, cos, then tan, cot, and so on. And sine, cosine, they are defined. We can get that. Okay, I'll not go into detail with that. It is given in terms of the exponential function. Some of you might have studied that in the mathematics. Whether you are studying the mathematics, that I do not know. But in mathematics, there are formulas for sine, cos, tan, cot in terms of e raised to the angle. Then further, by using that these mathematics of the hyperbolic function, you can show this equal to y. So approximately equal to y. So P naught y. So I'm not going into detail how it is obtained, because you might not have come across this hyperbolic function and like this averages and so on. So we directly state the formula. As I already told you in the beginning, that many of these are these derivations are lengthy in between, and it is beyond your scope of the syllabus. Even in a textbook, you will not find it. Any textbook, even at the graduation level, if you refer any textbook, how it is found, you will not find it. In fact, it is part of the research paper. Then we write here P naught. So this substitute is Y. So P naught square EM by 3 kT. Then, as we have said earlier, that polarization vector P is n times, n is the number of molecules per unit volume, into that dipole moment, component of the dipole moment, average value. And then vector P by n equal to this, this average value is nothing but P naught square EM by 3 kT. In fact, vector P by n is nothing but the polarizability, which is alpha. So we'll consider that on the next. Okay, this way derived vector P by n equal to P naught square EM by 3 kT. Then definition of polarizability is P by n EM. That this P by n is a dipole moment per electric field. Then P by n from this is P naught square EM by 3 kT into 1 by EM. Then this P naught square by 3 kT, and if the induced dipole effect is taken into account, induced dipole means when the dielectric is polarized, then this each different molecules will induce a dipole moment in the other molecules. So that is what is called as a induced dipole effect. And if that is taken into account, then we have to add to this some quantity called as a deformation polarizability. And this expression alpha equal to alpha naught plus P naught square by 3 kT is called the Langevins-Debye equation. Now this we are written in the earlier slide, and that is called the Langevins formula. And we want to plot a graph now. This is a Langevins function. It's called the Langevins function, not Langevins formula, but Langevins function. And we want to plot a graph of this Langevins function against y. So this we have already written this equal to that 1 by 3 P naught y, and then we take this P naught this side. So 1 by P naught, average value of P naught cos theta equal to 1 by 3 y. So this equation we will be using in the next slide to plot the graph. This 1 by P naught, average value of P naught cos theta equal to 1 by 3 y. So we are plotting this, this on the y-axis and this y on the x-axis, y equal to mx. So what is expected is a straight line with a slope 1 by 3. But if you plot that Langevins function by P naught, that means average value of the dipole moment per dipole moment, then you get, in the beginning you get a straight line, and here you will get a slope equal to 1 by 3, and afterwards then it will slowly increase, and then it will become almost constant. So when this becomes constant, means that saturation has been reached, because if you increase the electric field, see, if you increase y means what? Increase the electric field. As I mentioned that as the electric field is increased, the dipole moment will go on rotating and its polarization will increase. The total dipole moment of the dielectric will increase. But what happens is it cannot increase beyond a certain value when all the electric dipole moment aligns in the direction of electric field. So at this, all dipoles will be aligned in the direction of electric field. So this is constant, and that constant is almost equal to 1. Now this, if it reaches at infinity, then the value of that, this function plotted on the y is 1. In fact, that is called, in mathematics, called the asymptotic value. Y tending to infinity is 1. So this is the graph.